Two powerhouse American wrestlers stepped into the ring with Fedor and Emelianenko, only to be stunned by the quiet Russian's extraordinary level of combat Sambo. They came armed with accolades, raw strength, and Olympic-level credentials, but left humbled, submitted, and exposed. The first challenger was none other than Mark Coleman, the UFC's first heavyweight champion and Pride Grand Prix winner. Known as the Hammer, Coleman had made a career out of taking people down and smashing them into submission. When he squared off against Fedor, many expected the same result. For the opening 2 minutes, Coleman executed his game plan to perfection, driving Fedor to the mat and attempting to control him. But even on his back, Fedor was a coiled spring, patiently waiting. As Coleman overcommitted, Fedor swiftly locked in a lightning-fast armbar, flipping the script in a matter of seconds. Coleman had no choice but to tap, and the shock on his face said it all. This was no ordinary opponent. But Coleman wasn't finished with the Russian. He had a trump card, his explosive protege, Kevin the Monster Randleman, one of the most athletic fighters to ever step into a ring. Just weeks before, Randleman had stunned the MMA world by brutally knocking out Mirko Cro Cop, a feared striker, with a savage punch that echoed through Pride's halls. His confidence was sky high, and with his mentor Coleman in his corner, he was ready to do what few even dreamed of: crush Fedor. Randleman opened the fight like a man possessed. He secured a takedown, lifted Fedor into the air, and executed what would become one of the most iconic slams in MMA history, a high-arching German suplex that dumped Fedor directly on his neck. Gasps filled the Tokyo Dome. Commentators were convinced the fight was over, but Fedor, seemingly made of iron and ice, bounced off the canvas and immediately began to reverse position. Within seconds, he was on top. Randleman, dazed by what had just happened, was helpless as Fedor transitioned into a textbook Kimura and forced the tap. Once again, another champion submitted. Another myth dismantled, but Mark Coleman wasn't done with his Russian nemesis. 2 years later, he demanded a rematch, determined to rewrite history. This time, he fought smart, leaning heavily on takedowns, clinch control, and suffocating top pressure. For 2 grueling rounds, Fedor was pushed, held, and drained, but he never broke. And as Coleman grew tired, Fedor's signature patience turned into precise violence. He isolated an arm once again, and in the blink of an eye, the dreaded armbar was locked in. Coleman tapped again. It wasn't just that Fedor won. He broke men who had never been broken. He submitted legends, calmly, consistently, and without a flicker of emotion. To step into the ring with Fedor wasn't just a fight, it was a test of your very limits.